Hello everyone, it's SKFC back here with another video, and we are going to be talking about Omar Marmoush, who has just been confirmed to join Manchester City in January of 2025, and we're going to be talking about why this transfer is going to be exciting for the blue half of Manchester. Just to give a quick overview, Marmoush is 25 years old. He primarily plays as a striker and can play on the wings for Eintracht Frankfurt, and he has been a primary reason why they have been third in the Bundesliga this season, owing to his 15 goals and 9 assists in just 17 matches. So one of the things I like about Marmoush just out of the gate is look how hyperactive he is in terms of, making sure his defender is working. And he's able to do this while still keeping good control of what he's going to do with the ball. You see out here, has a good touch on the ball, gets past the defender, and has an amazing weight of touch to play in Ekitike for the goal. And, it's kind of just qualities like that show why you would want him on your team. Again, you can see him here looking to create space using like his little feints and stuff, and it's kind of hard to do this, and this really shows the importance of having a good low center of gravity as well. And I know obviously like this specific at this point he's kind of put himself in a little bit of a hard situation, but kind of just that ability to create separation is going to find himself to be very valuable on any team that he's on. He also combines this with a very, very good off-ball game. He's able to utilize his speed incredibly quick, along with his power to get ahead of defenders and getting behind to taking a shot. And his shooting technique is a bit funny because I kind of like the way he is able to kind of just like swing his foot at it. You can see here he lets the ball bounce in front of him, but he doesn't let it get away from him. Takes one touch and is able to get it through and goal. I know he doesn't score, but again, it kind of just shows how quickly he can go from point A to point B and to just get a good, valuable shot off. His versatility can also be seen in the zone that he occupies. He's very ambidextrous in the sense that he can operate from the middle, the left, the right. He doesn't really need any specific sphere of influence to positively shape the game, and that's going to be very valuable for a team in Manchester City that's always looking for different options in terms of how to attack their opponents, as well as such a manager like Pep, who's always looking to innovate in different ways as well. And even just looking at the numbers as well, it shows an adept dribbler who is above average in that sense, has a high amount of touches for a forward player at 50. So again, shows increased influence in what his team is doing in terms of how they operate. High opponent box numbers, so he's always looking to get into dangerous situations, whether it's him dribbling into the box or him making off-ball runs. He also shows an ability to win his duels, so it shows that he's a willing presser, which does go along with how Frankfurt like to play in that system. So even just by looking through the numbers, shows again amazing chance creation, which pairs well with the dribbling, as well as it shows why he has such high assist numbers in the first place. So you're really getting a all action, do it everything type of forward who is also incredibly direct, has the speed to play off ball, and can play pretty much anywhere you need him to in the front line. So you're really getting a great player in that sense. But here are some other reasons as well as to why it may not work out. I don't want to say it wouldn't work out, but some of the other things to keep in mind when you're getting in players such as this. So right now we're looking at the heat map of Jeremy Doku, who has played significant minutes for Manchester City this season, as well as the heat map of Savinho as well. So these are two of City's main wingers this year, and I think obviously what needs to stand out already is the fact that Pep is the type of manager likes to have both his wingers play extremely wide, And even in the highlights that I've shown you of Marmoush, and when you just look at his heat map, he definitely likes to drift across, the front line, like I said, when you just kind of compare it with his heat map. So it is going to be a bit of an adjustment if Pep wants him to just kind of stick to these outside areas, as opposed to drifting in, because you obviously have to you don't want to get in the way of someone like an Erling Haaland, who is going to be occupying a lot of these central zones. So that is one adjustment that would have to be made either from the manager or from Marmoush in that sense. I do think another thing to note is just how different teams, how differently teams will play against Manchester City compared to how teams play against Frankfurt. Teams against Man City are going to give Marmoush a lot less space to run into and behind, which is something to note, because even at Frankfurt, I think their average possession is a little over 50% at about 50 and a half. Whereas at Manchester City, it's over 61%. So he's going to be seeing a lot more coverage akin to this monstrosity you see here from Brentford, than, say in the Bundesliga, where he has a lot more open space to run into. And this is again significant because even when you look at some of the goals that he has scored, I believe 5 of the goals that he has scored have come from fast break situations. Oh, sorry, 4, forgive me. So 4 of the goals he has scored have come from fast break situations. So he's just not going to get that same opportunity, most likely, in the Premier League. I would think, when on the topic of kind of his goal breakdowns, another thing to keep in mind is, again, 2 of his goals have also come from penalties. So that's 6 goals. And Haaland's obviously going to be, the main penalty taker for this team. So that's 6 goals that come from situations that he may not be getting on this team. And he is also actually a pretty good free kick taker. And he scored 2 goals this season from that as well. So again, it'll be interesting to see if he takes their free kicks as well. Because if he doesn't, then that's about, half of his goals that come from situations that probably will not be translating as much to this Manchester team in specifically. But I do think overall, though, especially for the price that he's been bought at, that he'll still be an overall good transfer. The last thing I wanted to bring up is kind of his strike partner at Frankfurt, and that is one Hugo Eich, who is an amazing player in his own right, but not the main subject of this video. And the reason why I want to bring him up as well is the fact that he is a very abnormally high striker to play off of. He has good, dribble numbers. He has good chance creation numbers, and he's also very tall too as well, and very technical for such a tall striker. So, Marmoush kind of also has the benefit of playing in a front two with such a high technical striker. So, and obviously when he goes to Manchester City and he plays this one Erling Haaland, right? He's not really going to have the benefit. He's not really going to have the benefit of that, right? Haaland isn't going to go out of his way to make chances for him. He's not going to go out of his way to, dribble into spaces, which is going to free up Marmoush in that sense. So that is going to be another thing to keep in mind as well. But like I said, overall, though, I still do think that, especially for the amount of money that has been spent on him, which I believe is only going to be about 50 million, that this is still a really, really good transfer. I still really think it's going to work out. And I am incredibly jealous that my club could not get him before Manchester City did. But overall, though, I think good business by the citizens. And yeah, that's going to be my video for today. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys think this transfer is going to work out, if you rate him as a player. And most importantly of all, don't forget to have a nice day.